laying up underneath them things. You can see salt tracks and then dried on his cheeks. And he curls down in there in the fetal position. You know what he says? You know what he said?
Yeah.
He's a preacher. He's one of the greatest prophets in the Old Testament. You know what he said? It is enough, Lord, let me die. You say, what is that? He's suicidal. It's enough, Lord, let me die. A few weeks ago, I was up in Cleveland. I was preaching up there at a meeting there in Cleveland, right around Canton. Flying to Cleveland in a snowstorm up there, right behind the snowstorm. And I got up there and I preached a couple of things there about depression and some things along the line. The fella comes out there, big old marks across his neck right here, skin poppers all over him and stuff. I said, hey, how you doing? And he said, hey, I wanted to tell you I got saved tonight. I said, well, good, man. You ain't from up here in Cleveland or nothing. You told me. He said, no, I come from down south. I come up here, got in trouble, you know. And I said, well, what kind of trouble? He said, I tried to kill myself. He said, I was out about 6 minutes. And he said, they don't know how it is, but only one little part of my brain got messed up. But he said, I tried to hang myself. He said, you know when you was talking about that boy that hung himself and that preacher's wife that hung herself and the other fellow you told me about that hung herself, that's a horrible way to go, man, when people have to see you when they come get you. It's bad. You can't unsee it. You go in there and you see that stuff, and then he said, yeah, he said, I tried to hang me. It's because I was all strung out on dope and stuff, and I committed a couple of crimes. I was going to have to go to prison and stuff. And he said, I just figured I'd just kill myself. He said, I don't know how it is. He said, but I feel okay, but they tell me that one part of my brain, and I'm thinking to myself, because when you do that, you lose oxygen to the brain, and you usually wind up brain dead. And he goes, see? Boy, you can see the road burns. I thought, my goodness, man. And he said, but I got something to live for now. Mm-hmm. And I said, what's that? He said, I got saved tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm doing this in down South Florida, and I'm talking along these same lines and talking about depression and discouragement. I have no idea why I even got on it. It just happened to be on it. It wasn't even part of the message. It just came into the message, and I just went with it. I used Elijah as an illustration. I gave a couple of illustrations of a little kid that hung himself and a couple other things that happened and some things I've seen and all that stuff. There's a 12-year-old girl sitting on the third row up there. Her grandma comes up and she says, preacher, can we please talk to you? And I said, well, you talk to the pastor. And she said, I've asked him. He could said it's okay. 12-year-old girl had taken a razor blade and cut both of her wrists. 12 years old. 12 years old. In church. In church. Another girl sitting there, and meet her back in the back office over there, and she had tried to take 2 handfuls of pills, some stuff that she got into her mama's cabinet. She was 19 years old, and they pumped her stomach and got her back, and that had all happened within the last 3 or 4 weeks. I'm not no prophet. I'm not trying to say it that. I'm trying to say people, even in churches, get depressed. They get scared. Pressure gets on them, man. And then all of a sudden, you know what Elijah said? Just kill me. Just let me die. Why do you think he's out there? He doesn't have any provisions. He doesn't have a go bag with him. He's got nothing. Clothes on his back. He don't have a gun. He don't have a spear. He doesn't have anything to take care of himself out there. He said, Lord, it's enough. Just let me die. I'm out here. I'm going to die of dehydration or starve to death one, or an animal's going to eat me. Man, I mean, the bears are coming at her, and the lions are coming. The hyenas are laughing, and all the stuff are coming around there, and they're going to pick his bones apart, sure as I'm standing here. And about that time, in the middle of the night, the Lord shows up over there. I'm talking about the Lord providing. And he shows up over there, and he looks down there, and I think he takes his robe off and puts it across his shoulders. Maybe takes that old white, wispy, wiry hair and blows it out of his face there. And that old rough beard's got sand and stuff in it, man, and spittle and sweat in it, and he blows it out of the way. You know what he does? Elijah winds up waking up over there. You know what he does? He sees a fire. You say, why? For light and because he's cold. You know what else he has? Right by his head, the cruse of water. You say, why? He's thirsty. You say, what's on the fire? Biscuits. There's bread there he's cooking for him. You say, why? Because he's hungry. You say, what else is there? Fellowship. He's all by himself, all alone. That's the bad thing about it. When you get depressed, you know what you want to do? You want to go into a cave. You want to be by yourself. You don't want to be alone. You'll sleep all the time, watch TV all the time, hang around the internet all the time. You don't want to be around people. You don't like people. You get where you get edgy. That's what happened. You say, what happened? The Lord provided for everything he needed right there. But you know what? The one thing he didn't realize he needed more than anything? After he gets over there, he goes into his man cave. You know the story. And he's back there, and the Lord calls him out to the front of that thing, and he comes out with his face wrapped up with a mantle there. And he stands out there, and there's an earthquake, and there's the wind, and there's the fire. And the Lord said, I'm not in those things. You say, how did he say it? He said it in a still, small voice. That meant, he said, Elijah, you know what the problem is? You know why you got depressed? You got disconnected from me. You know what the provision we need nowadays? We need him more than food. We need him more than water. We need him more than fire. We need him more than a coat to keep us warm and more than protection from the animals. We need our relationship with the Lord, where we started on Monday night, where we need him to touch us. We need him to spend time with us. We need to be rejoined, reunited with him once again. You say, why? Because hard times are coming. Amen. Daniel in the lion's den, 3 Hebrew children in the fiery furnace, Elijah under the juniper tree, the woman without the biscuit. I mean, her boy winds up dying. Man, what a thing. What did you say? What? You can't guarantee that everything's going to work out. Apostles in the storm, Jesus on a cross. Yep. Oh, I did tell you something about he would provide himself, didn't I? You know what he did? He said, listen, there's a hunger that they can't get out of a loaf of bread. And there's a thirst they can't get out of a pitcher of water.
That's right.
There's a need they have that won't get them out of hell. So I'm going to have to go down there and I'm going to have to provide myself. Now, if he provided himself for you, don't you know he can provide for whatever you got tonight? I don't know what you're going through tonight. I know sure as I'm standing here, if the Lord turns on for many more days, that if the world just goes like it is and nothing changes, trouble's coming your way. You say, why? Because the Bible said man is born under trouble as the sparks fly upward. We're not immune to it. We're Christians. We're probably more prone to have it than someone else. You say, why? The Lord looks down there and says, well, that's my servant Job. You considered him a righteous man skeweth evil. I mean, the Lord's used it. The devil didn't go pick on him. The Lord said, hey, look at him and let the devil pick on him because he could trust him with it. The Apostle Paul said, we're troubled on every side. We're perplexed and we're put under and all those things, and distressed and discouraged and all that stuff. You read in 2 Corinthians 11 the stuff that he goes through as far as the ministry is concerned there, and you're thinking to yourself, how'd Paul get through it? I can tell you how Paul got through it. He leaned on the promise. He said, he'll never leave me and never forsake me. Now maybe tonight you feel like he's left you. Maybe you feel like he's not paying attention to you. Maybe you feel like he don't care. It don't make no difference. What am I doing in church on a Wednesday night? There's a storm blowing up across the hills over yonder. It's fast moving, kind of thinned out. I'm hoping it gets here, but I hope it don't get here. I hope nothing happens. And you're sitting here tonight thinking, man, I got a whole lot more going on in my life than just a thunderstorm coming over the hill. My marriage is on the rock. My kids have gone prodigal. I've had to bury friends and loved ones. I got this and that and the other financially stuff going on and all that stuff. And the Lord's up there and said, well, I provided for you to get into heaven, didn't I, Mephibosheth? Well, yes, sir, Lord, you did that. Okay. Then I'll make sure I meet your needs. And you know what you have to learn to do? You have to learn to lean on him. And it ain't easy. You get the hind end tore out of your car and you get all busted up and broke up. You're all banged around and stuff, and you're thinking, Lord, what in the cat hair is all this about? The Lord said, oh, I got something I need you to do. I just thought I'd cripple you up for a while. Yeah. Wife gets cancer. You trust me, don't you? Yeah, Lord, give it to me. What you got to give it to her for? I know what I'm doing. Trouble in the church. Lord, I ain't got trouble in the church. I know what I'm doing. God knows what he's doing. I'll just cut it off right there. We've been here long enough tonight. You folks have been mighty good to listen to me. But let me just give you this, and I'll get out of here and we'll go get a donut or something. But let me just say this to you. In the last days, the one thing the devil wants to do, or two things the devil wants to do, is number one, get you to doubt God. And number two, get your eyes off of him. It's that simple. That's his battle plan. Whatever he has to do to get you to doubt and make you think God forgot you. God ain't forgot you. God sealed you to the day of redemption, and sure as I'm standing there, he's going to come get you. And if you die, he'll take you right now. And if not, when the rapture happens, he'll change your vile body into a body like his, and we'll all go to the house together. And we will be glad when we get over on that side. He made you that promise, and lean on that promise and trust that promise. And when you go through stuff, look out there where you're headed. And this time during here, you think, well, it ain't that long. It can't be that much longer. I mean, even if it goes for the rest of my life, it ain't nothing compared to eternity forever. And it might help you get through and make it through another day. Father, I pray that you might help us tonight.